Good morning, Dr. Manalo. Good morning, classmate. As I continue our report regarding on e-leadership, operationalizing its definition, elements, challenges in leading virtual teams, let me focus on the core e-competencies which is under the elements. Last time, Group 2 discussed about the core leadership which focuses on the self-awareness, communication, influence, and learning agility of the leaders to effectively guide their teams. Meanwhile, our report, which is e-leadership, is very evident nowadays, most especially in the era of technology. There is much that is new and different about leadership, management, and communication in the digital age. There is also significant continuity with earlier time. One might say principles endure, the applications change. What's old and what's new are both seen in the 21st century leadership skills might as well we have said that 21st century leadership traits, but the term skills better convey the leadership compromises capacities that can be learned, refined, cultivate, improve, and constantly updated to serve more effectively. To better understand about competencies of e-leadership, let us define first what is e-competencies. When we say e-competencies, these are the ability that is applied in an information technology in a professional work context using a common language for competences, skills, knowledge, and proficiency. The elements of e-leadership begins with e-skills most of the successful leaders should aim to master. So what is this e-skills? So namely, we have e-communication, we have e-social skills, we have e-team building skills, we have e-change management skills, we have e-technology skills, and also we have e-trustworthiness skills. Now, let's move forward to the first e-skills, which is e-communication skills. When we say communication, it enables us to share what we have and what they expect from us, and vice versa. Being a leader, having a good communication skills help to develop better understanding and beliefs among people, inspire them to follow the principles and values which their leader wants to inculcate in them. Under the e-communication skills is the communication clarity. So when we say communication clarity, communication in electronic settings is very clear, well organized, and allow for feedback to avoid errors and untested assumptions. For example, every time that we have the conducting of online meeting, we often observe that most of the leader give his or her opening remarks and give a hint or the objectives of the meeting. And the question is what what is the reason for doing this? Of course, to establish the purpose of the meeting and to get inspired to motivate and to arouse the interest of every members to actively participate in the meeting. Another e-skills under e-communication skills is lack of miscommunication. Miscommunications are all too common in the workplace, whether it's happened in your own school or while working your department heads or master teacher. There's a good chance that you can think at least one example of work communications that you've experienced in your professional career. But identifying the causes of miscommunications can go a long way towards ensuring it doesn't happen again in the future. Consider these common causes of miscommunications in the workplace. Communications in electronic settings is specifically or especially careful not to convey unintended messages that leaves the receiver feeling insulted or angry because of the tone or misunderstanding. Let's say making assumptions. One of the biggest reasons for the workplace miscommunication is the fact that employees tend to make assumptions frequently. Take doctors, for instance, when talking with the understudy doctors may assume that the individual knows that being discussed. If the understudy doesn't know that these informations, they quickly find themselves lost. And the understudy may not want to speak up or out of fear because of the embarrassment. The doctor easily could have avoided these situations by ensuring that everyone was on the same page when he or she began speaking. As the clear details below, their direct messaging and effective communications will go a long way towards preventing this. Aside from this, making assumptions, lack of accountability. When something goes wrong in the workplace, it is easy for the people to turn and point fingers. Too often, people aren't aware of their roles of the projects. Perhaps the poor management in place that doesn't hold people accountable. Whatever the case may be, a lack of accountability can cause miscommunication. For instance, imagine a project where no one stepped up to take charge. As a result, a huge step of the project goes unfinished. Workers are quick to cast blames. So this also can lead us to miscommunications. So we need to avoid that kind of situation to happen. Another example of e-skills under e-communication skills is the management of communication flow. We all know that communications is very important for any organization to function effectively. Employees should be feel that they can easily communicate with their team members as well as the upper management because this contributes to the productivity and overall result. And knowing that and understanding the management of communications is very vital. We need to ensure that the ease of communications does not invite excessive communications impeding the ability of the employees or the leaders to get their work done. And also we need to filter the data when it may be so extensive or complex as to overwhelm the employees. One of the best example or the scenario that I can give to you is the current scenario wherein one of the supervisor called me to ask for some help to edit his video speech. Then after he discussed everything that he wanted to do with his video speech, he told me about some updates regarding on the learning action cells and asked to prepare some school reports. After our call, I chatted my school heads and said, Madam, I would like to inform you that this supervisor called me to say some updates regarding on learning action cells and asking for some school report. Although I know to myself that I am not the right person to talk to about the updates and the school reports, I decided to inform the school head. But unfortunately, this was the misunderstanding between the communications of the supervisors and I was immediately addressed, and the principal called me to her office to discuss about it. And eventually, after I discussed everything about her and explained everything about her, she clearly understood the situation. Another e-skills is the e-social skills. Under the e-social skills is the good leader support. But the question is, what makes an effective leader support? Effective leaders live by strong values that guides their decisions and behavior. They know the right from wrong and are honest in their interactions with others, and being good leader supports is having a creativity. Then effective leader think outside the box to come up with the innovations and solutions to a problems and to creatively think some ways to reach for the goals. And also, we need to ensure that all employees in ICT mediated environment are provided with customized communications from time to time. Uses reaches media such as face-to-face meeting, telephone, and virtual conferencing or conferences when appropriate. So we need to also ensure that the use of robust interactions methods that are inclusive. We should remember that for us to have the good leader support, we should know and understand our leadership styles so that we know how to encourage others to have their creativity, to listen and communicate effectively, and most importantly, to motivate your members. And just like me, having a moral support for my former principal, which is Dr. Balahaja, she never fails to encourage me to be the best version of myself every day and uplift my moral based on their or based on her knowledge and wisdom. Another skills is team building skills, which is under this is the team motivation. Individual, teams, and even whole organization can reap the rewards. Motivated people are highly adaptable, particularly when it comes to the change, and they have a positive attitude at work. They help to spread an organization's good reputations and to reduce rates of absenteeism and to improve performance and achieving the common goal. And also, we need to understand that we need to ensure that team building occurs in virtual teams. So that is makes sure that the new teams have initial introductory activities, have a genuine sense of their purpose, and occasionally encouragement. So it makes sure that the new virtual members are properly introduced and integrated. One of the examples here in team motivations is the implementation of Brigada Escuela yearly. So with or without pandemic, we often to have the Brigada Escuela program. So, but how do we motivate the teachers and the parents to participate in this kind of program? Of course, via virtual kickoff programs. And as the former Brigada coordinator, I used to have my action plan in implementation of Brigada Escuela. Since we experienced this pandemic, one of the innovations to motivate educational partners is to have virtual kickoff programs where you can have the series of activities such as the Brigada Pagbasa, online wellness Zumba, and many more. Another skills under team building skills is the team accountability. When we say accountability, it fosters the better work relationship, improves the job satisfaction, and helps team to work effectively together. So it empowers also the individual with ownership over their work and fuels more effective teamwork since everyone knows that they can count on each other to get things done. And also we need to understand that we need to ensure that individual is virtual teams are held accountable for participating and contributing. Let's say, for example, in online meeting, it is one of the example for team accountability. So in our case, there is the rotation of the grade level in charge in every meeting. So in each in charge or grade level in charge are accountable to prepare programs, presentations, and creating attendance for online using the Google Forms and the Google Meet. Those are the examples of team accountability. Another skills under team building skills is the team and team member recognition. We all know that recognition helps employees to see that their organization values them and their contribution to the success of the team and the organizations overall. This is particularly the key when organizations grow or change. So it helps the employees to build a sense of security in their value to the organizations and motivating them to continue the great work. And also, we need to make sure that the members of virtual teams get as much opportunity for recognitions, reward, development, and the advancement as face-to-face team member. One of the great example here in team and team member recognition is the Gawad Primero that is initiated by the Department of Education to recognize each of the teachers who became a module writer, validator, and video creator. As far as I remember, before the awarding of the certificates, you should prepare the attendance narrative report and another mode of verifications, and the principal gave the recommendations to submit the Google Drive or to the submit your output in the Google Drive, and luckily we get the certificate of recognitions and our hard work paid off. And to sum up all of this discussion, here is my summary and conclusion. E-leadership is the current trends in this digital age. The innovations of leadership, management, and communications mediated by technology among organizations in the context of work. In this modern time, we also develop several skills, and one of these skills is the competencies of a e-leadership. E-competencies consist of six E skills such as e-communications, e-social skills, e-team building skills, e-change management skills, e-technological skills, and also e-trustworthiness. Being a leader who has e-communication skills should possess three qualities such as communications clarity, which allows us to give feedback to avoid errors and untested assumptions, and also to understand the lack of miscommunications to avoid misunderstanding, and we need to should know how to manage communications flow. It is also important to establish e-social skills because being a good leader who supports an employee in ICT mediated environment through robust interaction. Meanwhile, a leader who has a team building skills can make a team motivated, accountable, and give them a recognition to boost their trust and confidence. Therefore, I conclude that it is very important that these skills should be mastered of a new set of leaders like us who are in the digital era to become more equipped and knowledgeable in managing people. And for my insights, personally, I never thought that these skills are very evident every time I use several devices and several platforms in video conferencing, online collaboration, virtual meetings, and attending seminars digitally. However, I clearly understood that e-skills such as e-communication, e-social skills, e-team building skills, e-change management skills, e-technological skills, and e-trustworthiness can be utilized technology without compromising my leadership style. Indeed, all of this learning can be my greatest assets as a future leader and gives an impact without or within my organizations. While reading my topic, I asked myself, am I an e-leader or not? And I said, yes, of course I am. Although my learning principles ensures that the applications can change depending on a certain situation. That would be all. Thank you. That would be all. Thank you.